with you. How do you assess the defense you guys played today when in the paint? You guys have
recording in progress.
So hot from deep. You feel like you let them get open, or they just were hot? How do you assess that?
You know, I think it's a little bit of both. I do think we did well in the paint outside of some fouls of them driving, but I mean, sometimes when a team gets hot and they have a little bit of space, they knock it down, and I think that's what LA did tonight. I mean, for the most part, we defended the three-point line. That fourth quarter just got away from us a little bit. They just got open on some of those screens and were able to knock it down.
Saw you and Katie talking to an official after the game. What were you guys kind of running through or trying to figure out there?
I just feel like sometimes I get certain calls on like my positioning, and I was trying to ask some questions about LA. They were kind of doing the same thing, and I was trying to figure out how sometimes I get those fouls, or like why didn't we get those fouls tonight? Because you're battling, and it gets frustrating when there's like certain things for you, and then so it's just little balance we're trying to figure out. But Isaac was pretty nice to just stay and talk to me after.
Kaylin, 30 for you, 13 at the foul line today. What was working for you so well offensively in this one?
Honestly, I think I just played with an aggressive mindset. I think that was the biggest thing. I just tried to play downhill the best I could. Would have liked to make a couple more threes, but had to take some at the end that were a little contested. But I thought we did some good things, and then we kind of just shoot ourselves in the foot. They shot it obviously tremendous from 3-point line. Like, it's just hard to win when they shoot 60% from three, and we shoot 38% from the field. It's just hard to win basketball games like that.
Caitlin, I think that there was 10 more fouls today than when you guys previously played Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like McDonald was especially, chippy and vocal today. Were you expecting that coming in?
Yeah, I think everybody's physical with me. They get away with things that probably other people don't get away with, and it's tough. But that's just the fact of the matter. Is like, this is a very physical game. But yeah, you're gonna get pressure. That's just professional basketball. So I think it is what it is, honestly.
Is that something that you expected going into the league? You said
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There was that interaction after, in between two free throws. I think it was at the very end of the first quarter, maybe the beginning of the second, where she kind of came up to you in between the two free throws.
I think she was just trying to pick me up. I don't think she had realized that she got another free throw because it was the technical free throw. I saw that though. Yeah.
Okay, so she didn't say anything?
No.
Okay.
Kind person, honestly.
Aliyah, obviously, you guys lost a game, but you guys did win the battle in the paint as far as points in the paint goes, and just I think one short on rebounding, but you were better offensively on the rebounds, and I know that's something that Coach Sides wanted you guys to improve on going in. Were you satisfied with the team's performance in the paint tonight?
Yes, but it's hard to look at certain stuff when you're looking at the overall picture, and that's the wins and loss. But I think that's better for us because we're defending the paint and they have great bigs, but also they're big step out and they like to shoot the three, so making them shoot more of those rather than being in the paint battling all night was better for us.
Aliyah, we saw you a couple times feel comfortable take that three with confidence. We're going to see more of that maybe this season, you hope?
We'll see how the cookie crumbles, I guess. I'll see if I'm just glad I was able to take them and knock them down tonight. But it's just understanding when and where, and so that was what it was tonight.
Kaylin, in that second half, you guys had that great start to the second half, but then Sparks responded, I think, with a 28-8 run. What stood out to you about both of those stretches for you guys?
I think they scored 11 points in less than 2 minutes, so it's just like one thing just led to another, and that seems like to be an issue for us. It's like we can never really stop the bleeding, and then it's just too much to come back from. I think that was huge where they put 11 points together right there. We played good defense, honestly, through the entire third. Had held them to 11 points, and then put 11 points on us really quick, and it seemed like a lot of it was in transition, but then obviously the fourth was just overall team defense was just bad.
Look, we've asked you guys about this a couple of times, but have you ever played 11 games in 19 days, and now that you're in the middle of it, how does it actually feel?
Maybe when I was 13 years old.
In the AU, maybe something like that. But I feel like, honestly, that off day that we had when we came back feels like heaven, and so it's just better that we got that little break.
Yeah, how would you assess your season so far with the first games compared to what you've done the last couple?
Personally?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't think it's been great for me at all. Honestly, I think I've had a pretty rough start from what I'm used to or even what I did last year. But I think what's important for me is that I just keep my mental good. Like, I'm just focusing on showing up each and every day, just continue to do what the team needs. And I think it's going to fall. Like, I'm going to be able to see it. And I think these past 2 games have been better for me when it comes to just finishing around the basket, just being a great teammate. But, I mean, it's been a rough start, but I'm blessed that we have more games to go.
Do you have a why in your head of why, or is it just...
Man, if
if you knew.
if I knew, I wouldn't have had this rough start, I promise you.
I'll go on Zoom real quick. Mike Vopel. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Caitlin, it just seems like just watching you become more and more confident in terms of when you drive, and I know that's obviously a big part of your game as well as the three-pointers and pulling up. Can you sort of talk about getting that comfort level when you're going against the type of defense you are and how you've sort of navigated that in a really short time?
Yeah, I think I've improved a lot since the beginning of the start of the season. I think the biggest thing for me is like once I get in there, I still get a little indecisive, and that's honestly where a lot of my turnovers are still coming from. Just like a little indecision once I do get my feet in the paint, but I think I've done a better job of, probing and finding people open or, finishing at the rim. I think I've done a better job as well of like understanding who's guarding me at the 4 and 5 position when I am getting those screens. And kind of picking them apart from there. Some are a little more athletic and some are a little bit slower that I can get around. So I think that's definitely been something that I've grown in a lot over the course of these first 8 games. So that'll continue to get a lot better, continue to take care of the ball a little bit better and find people and not be a little, indecisive. Got to make decisions a little bit faster there once I do get my feet in the paint.
Caitlin, kind of a long lead into this question, so sorry in advance. Talked with Cameron and Rakia before the game just about their adjustment to the league and how the league really feels like as much of a community as it ever has. It seems like everybody is supporting everybody. I mean, you see the video of Aja Wilson and Becky Hammond kind of singing their praise for you and the team. Cameron talked about experiences with Taurasi and Brittany. How have you felt welcomed by this league? It just seems like everybody wants to see everyone succeed. Have you felt that way as well?
Yeah, I think everybody's been very kind. Honestly, I don't talk to a ton of people in the league outside of my teammates. Like I don't know, I don't really, unless I, give them a high five before the game or unless it's, Kate Martin. But, I think just within our team, it's been very welcoming. But even like when I take the court, everybody's just like, welcome to the league. And you can tell there's an excitement about it this year. And I think that's really cool to see too, honestly.
And then kind of the same question for you, Aliyah. Obviously, you've been in the league for your second year now. It just seems like the game keeps growing in general. And then along the way, it seems like everybody just wants to help support that. How have you kind of dealt with that throughout these past 2 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. Last year, everyone was pretty excited for me to be here. And then this year, I mean, you just continue to see it grow. It's growing. It's not slowing down. I think that's great for our game because it is well needed and there's so much talent. So many talented women's basketball players out there that need to continue to take that next step, come to the league, because that's the way that it continues to grow. But I mean, everyone's been excited, and I think you want all of this excitement. Like, more people are watching our games, more people are talking about us. Like, that is what we need, and so it's really great that it's happening now.
Kaylin, there were good bursts of defense and your 3 blocks, your 3 steals.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about those opportunities? And we see you get 1 block, but to have 3 in a game.
Yeah, I think my defense has improved quite a bit. People probably pick on my defense quite a bit, and there's times where it's good, and there's times where I'm still learning and growing. Like a couple times where I let Nurse get open for a couple threes that just can't happen, but those are situations that I'm still trying to learn and grow. And I think my help side defense has become a lot better, and I think just like reading and understanding, what the other team wants to do with the ball. Has led me to get some steals and stuff. So I think just being active, and I think, the more active I am on defense, that helps me play better offense. So definitely a goal for me, coming into these games.
Got the last one on Zoom, Daniel Artest. Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? This is Daniel Artest from 9450. Caitlin, this is for you. It's been like a rapid transition these last 6 weeks since your last college game. Like, can you talk about your journey adapting from being that standout player in Iowa to basically starting fresh as a professional in the WNBA, and how have you been enjoying the process so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy journey, like you said. Like, it's been fast. And I mean, I feel like even when I was at Iowa, like the start of every year, like it's new, it's fresh, and that's kind of what this is. Like it's the start of a new year, it's the start of a new chapter of my life, and I'm just trying to learn every single day. And obviously, you know, we're not thrilled with being 1-7. We played a lot of really great teams. I would say this game is the one that was very, very winnable on our home court. Those are games you just have to win. So that's a little frustrating. I think just, you know, giving myself grace. Like at times I feel like I should be, you know, playing even better than I am. I thought tonight was, you know, a solid game for me other than, you know, take care of the ball a little bit better. And I've had glimpses of doing some really good stuff. And, you know, I have to remind myself, like, this team has barely practiced together. Like we're just getting tossed on the court and playing basketball games together, and we just haven't practiced, and we're trying our best to learn on the fly. We have a lot of inexperienced players. Like I'm a rookie playing point guard for this team. You know, AB's in her second year. You know, we just have a lot of young players out there on the court, and we're trying to learn and grow as fast as we can on the fly. So I think that's, you know, been the kind of the biggest adjustment and transition for myself is you got to learn from, you know, every single game and then try to go implement it the next day in a walkthrough, and then, you know, you play the next game the day after that. So I think that's been kind of the biggest transition for myself, but just trying to keep our spirits up and know that this team has a lot of talent and a lot of potential, and I think everybody in our locker room believes that.
Chris, first of all, what stood out to you about that start to the second half where you ripped off 11 in a row, and then along the same lines, then they answered with 28-8?
Yeah, that was a tough stretch. I mean, what we were doing early to them defensively in our schemes, we stopped doing in the second half, especially during that stretch. I mean, 60% from the three, you don't give yourself a chance. If you let somebody shoot, you know, they have 42 points in threes. I mean, you don't give yourself a chance.
I was going to be about mine, but to follow up on that, did you think they got high quality threes? What do you feel like led to that percentage being so high?
Yeah, we watched right when we got in there. We just wanted to see, and you know, we were going under some of the screens that we're supposed to be going over on these shooters. So it was just, and we were gambling, getting out of position, and then late to where we were supposed to be. So just a breakdown on our defense.
Statistically, one of Caitlin's best games in just about every category. What did you see from her in particular? One thing I want to know what you think about is her getting the foul line in this game and what led to her doing that so much.
Yeah, I think she was attacking, she was getting downhill, but she was also spraying out as well. You know, the way they're gonna defend her, you know, they could probably have called about 5 or 6 more fouls with how they keep both hands on her, but you know, I thought she did a good job of getting other people involved. I know she had some downhill drops that she had Kelsey. You know, she shot the ball well tonight. I know she needed to feel good about that.
Christie, you just kind of talked about how you felt like some of the closeouts on threes or maybe mistakes that you feel like the team shouldn't be making. Why do you think those things happen? Is it a product of the team being young, or is it just one of those nights?
You know, I'm not going to give them. You know, you can't do something right for 2.5 quarters and then just stop doing it. So I'm not going to say that's young, that's discipline.
How do you feel like, as far as discipline goes, that can change moving forward?
Yeah, they just got to, you know, we've got to rally, come tomorrow, talk about what went wrong, how it went wrong, why it went wrong, why we couldn't figure it out, and get ready to come back against Seattle.
Obviously, it's hard to feel optimistic after a loss. But before the game, you were talking about transition defense, forcing turnovers, and offensive rebounds. I believe all those categories were victories for you guys. Do you feel good about your performance in those categories?
It's really hard to feel good about my performance at all right now. Just this was a game that was ours to, you know, this is a home game. This is a game we're supposed to win. You know, we give up 24 points off turnovers. Too many turnovers in the fourth. Too many that led to easy points for them. You know, they went to the free throw line, I think 33 times. I'd say 6 of them were at the end because we were fouling, but 27 is way too many. And that was discipline. That was just, you know, instead of us stepping over and stopping, having our teammates back, we're reaching and fouling. And that's just, you know, that's just lack of discipline.
And last one for me, I'm just curious. Caitlin got that tech at the end of the first quarter. Did you get a reason as to why that was? Because it was kind of unclear from our perspective.
Yeah, we've got to, you know, we're spending too much time talking to the officials. We've got to leave that alone. Like, we've got to just play our game and let them do their job and not put it in their hands to make decisions that that ultimately hurt us. I mean, we don't want, no, we shouldn't get technicals. Let me get the technicals. Let me go after the officials.